this video, I explain how you can use a simple spreadsheet to quickly agree on ongoing weekly meeting times across multiple time zones. So this is particularly useful when your team is distributed across different countries, and I just find it difficult to schedule a time that fits everyone's availability. So what I use is a spreadsheet template. So just get the link from the video description, and you need a OneDrive account for this. So you can sign up for OneDrive for free. After you do that, you upload the spreadsheet into your own drive. So that's uploaded, I think. Then if you want to share this with people who might not necessarily have OneDrive, then you can make it so anyone with the link can edit the spreadsheet. So I'll just go into the spreadsheet like anyone would, and all they need is a browser. They don't need anything installed. It's similar to Google Sheets, except I find that Excel online runs much faster than Google Sheets. So I'm just simulating two people editing the spreadsheet at the same time. The first thing you'll see in this spreadsheet is there's three parameters. The most important one is the location, because depending on what time zone you're in, you need to change this to match your own time zone. So if you want to enter a time, first thing you need to do is click on Edit Workbook and edit in browser. Not edit in Excel, but edit in browser. And I'll just simulate the same thing for the other guy. So this is going to be an issue if you've got multiple people editing the spreadsheet and all trying to change the location to fit their own time zone. So if you find that's happening frequently, it might be worth having people who might be worth, if you're only reading the spreadsheet, it might be worth downloading the spreadsheet and then reviewing it there. But if you're updating your availability, it shouldn't matter. The location is just for adjusting the time zones so you get a group availability, which I'll explain later. So assuming that your name is Chris, so you just need to change the random names I've put in here. If I put this as my name and I'm in Sydney, and let's say this is my schedule, but you can change it if you like. Let's say I'm available 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. as well. And that should flow through in the group availability schedule. So that's all you need to do. There are some things additional you need to do, assuming that you want to change the time zone. So let's just demonstrate this. So Sydney time, 6 to 7 a.m. Change that to, let's use another example. Maybe I'll use this one as an example, 6 p.m. And I change the times, and let's say someone else comes into this spreadsheet and they're in Perth. So the group schedule will have changed. See here, that 6 p.m. has been shifted, I think, to 4 p.m. It's shifted by 2 hours. And you can see why here. There's a UTC schedule. So Perth has a UTC of 8 and Sydney has a UTC of 10. That's why the 6 p.m. that I've entered for Sydney, that converts to 4 p.m. here. But I'm just going to change that to Sydney again, and that's now back to 6 p.m. So that's what you can use this spreadsheet for. You can see here on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are people going to be available for your meeting, with 5 meaning 50% chance that they will be available at that time. So 6 p.m. or 10 p.m. I think 10 p.m. would be a better time on Monday, because here it's saying that there's so each person has indicated that they are available at 10 p.m. on Monday. And that's why I see here, this is 1. And what's the next time that people are available? That would be 9 a.m. on Wednesday, because the 4 people here has selected 10. So this flag is what you use to flag what people you want to include in the meeting. So were to add, if I were to add this guy, put a flag there. So each person has selected 10, but the next one, the Wednesday one, I think that's disappeared now. Yeah, I think it has. Yep, it's disappeared because they haven't selected that. Another way to look at this is to go to the Proposal tab and just do a filter on 1, and that should tell you what times people are available. So there's 2 times that people are available, that 5 people can make it to the meeting. Total of 50 votes. If I remove that person, if I remove this guy from the meeting and do the filter again, look, now you can have more meetings that you can propose, because you only need 4 people in the meeting with 40 votes. So instead of having 2 proposed meetings, you now have 3 proposed meetings, because you've allowed a smaller meeting size of only 4 people, and you remove the 5th person, who's a bit difficult to manage because of his schedule. The other thing to note is what happens if there's a location that you need to add. Let's say Hong Kong. That's not here, right? It's not on the list. Right. So to add Hong Kong, what you could do is add it to the Location tab, and go to the tab where it's got all the UTCs in it. Add Hong Kong there as well. What's the effective date of Hong Kong's UTC? I don't know. I'll just put January 2010. That's in the past, so it doesn't matter. And I don't know what the UTC of Hong Kong is, so I'll just search up here in time and date. UTC plus 8. Okay, so I'll just enter right here. And I'll just add someone from Hong Kong. Let's say some random name here. And she's in Hong Kong. What time? Maybe I'll say she's available between these times. And that should be reflected in the group schedule. So say it's 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and she's entered 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. So that's time zone, that's converted for you, as long as you enter the correct UTCs in the tab here. So what else? Another thing I'd like to mention is daylight savings, because if you look at Sydney, the UTC changes on 7th of October, moves by 1 hour. So this spreadsheet will also account for that. Let's demonstrate. So this is currently saying 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. What happens if this schedule was in October after the daylight savings? So daylight savings, let's say I will choose the second Monday of October, which is 9th of October, right? So instead of 3 p.m., that's now shifted to 4 p.m. because we're now looking at a weekly schedule for October. So you can see this spreadsheet does three things. People can go in at the same time and enter a vote on their availability on a scale of 1 to 10. And if they're not available, just enter 0 or leave the cell blank. It will also propose a meeting time to maximize people's attendance, taking into account daylight savings. So you can see a list of proposed times here, and there's 4 proposals for people who might be able to attend, and there's 1 proposal for everyone who can attend. So that just makes it very easy to figure out what times that you can have the meetings. Lastly, if you want more detail in this, you can change the frequency from 60 minutes to 30 minutes, which means the schedule will now be in 30-minute intervals. You need to update your data source as well, by the way, because it will not automatically convert from 1 hour to 30-minute intervals. So you need to change these to reflect 30-minute intervals if you want to reuse the data. So this is basically what you can use an Excel spreadsheet for. You could use another app like Doodle, but that's another app. And I try to avoid using too many apps if I don't need to. I won't go into this video. That's a topic for another time. The only disadvantage that I can see here is that it won't automatically detect your time zone. You have to select it. It also doesn't synchronize with your calendar. But for this purpose, if we're trying to work out the best time without having to reschedule every time, what's the best time to hold an ongoing weekly meeting, then you probably don't need to synchronize with your calendar anyway. You do that for ad hoc meetings if you need to schedule some meeting in between. But for working out the best recurring weekly meeting time, I think using this spreadsheet should be enough. So if you want to use it, just download it from the link that I've provided in the description of this video. Thanks for watching.